This week on Supercars Torque, we celebrate the completion of the second Gen 3 chassis, take a look at the all-soft Winton Supersprint, and ponder the return of Ambrose, Kelly and Ingall. Big news this week. Shane van Gisbergen has said he would like to do some rallying in the ARC, and he'll probably go and dominate it. Slow news week, I guess. The actual big news was that Pace has finished the first Mustang chassis for DJR. Yeah, we can relax because now we know they've got a Camaro one and a Mustang one that are apparently both the same, so I don't know why we need to call one a Camaro and one a Mustang. I assume there's probably some different mounting points for some of the body panels, but I would have thought the actual chassis, say from Pace, was just built to the specification and it goes off and the team puts on the mounting brackets. Not sure why we can't just get Pace to build them all and distribute them out to the teams. That might be a big ask at the moment, but you know. Yeah. We got two cars ready, so it's all pretty simple. I have heard some murmurings that the engine program, which is actually the biggest shift of the whole thing, rather than, you know, the chassis and body panels and stuff, that's kind of, you're always replacing body panels and that. They're always building new cars. Okay, they're always building new engines, but the engine is a total departure from what we're doing at the moment. I have heard that is actually ahead of schedule. Whether that's true or not, or whether that's just putting out rumours, but if that was actually ahead of schedule, I would have thought they would have been singing that from the rooftops, going, hey, the engine's the biggest change that we're having, and that's all going to plan. This chassis stuff, yeah, we can kind of, because do we really need to go and test whether the chassis works? Maybe they'll bugger it up and the car won't handle. I can't see that happening. Once again, I can still see Gen 3 happening. First round next year, we see a grid full of Gen 3 cars. But I have been wrong in the past once. So let's watch this space. Speaking of Gen 3, Russell Ingall has put his hat into the... what would you say? Put his hat into the fight or something? I was going to say hat into the cap. Anyway, Russell Ingall says, I'll be back. If Gen 3 has pedal shifting, because, you know, the TCR car was so easy to drive. He got some podiums in his appearances last year. I don't think he actually won a race, but he got on the podium. Shows you how much I pay attention to TCR. But he said, you know, if Supercars Gen 3 paddle shift, all you got to do is steer the thing and push two pedals. I'm in for that, whether it actually happens or not. And then I can just imagine the Facebook comments, everyone going, yeah, Ingall back, yeah, we want this kind of thing. And they're probably the same other idiots that are then complaining that someone like Jack Smith is in the field and, you know, not Thomas Randall. Yeah, so anyway, Ingall reckons he's going to come back. Big rumours that the Kelly team hasn't quashed any of these. They've actually said that, you know, they're open to a wild card at Bathurst. Of course, Rick Kelly looks like the most likely candidate for that, possibly with Matt Campbell. Many people, without thinking, have said, oh, well, as a Castrol car with Thomas Randall. Thomas Randall's contracted to Tickford for starters, and he's going to be racing, you know, one of their cars at Bathurst. And also, Kelly's have now got all this money from Penrite. So, stranger things have happened, but I don't think we're going to see a Castrol and a Penrite car essentially in the same garage there. I think the whole Penrite coming to Kelly's meant that Castrol went away to Tickford, and it's probably not coming back, and that was probably some of the issue with, you know, Rick continuing, because Dave came in with a bag full of money and they already, you know, you want to keep Andre because Andre's actually doing pretty good this year. So anyway, potential wildcard there, they just need the money. So, you know, if you've got a spare $1 million or so, maybe chip in and get your name down the side of a Rick Kelly Mustang for Bathurst. Speaking of people who are back, Marcus Ambrose will be back in the commentary team at Winton. Well, it's going to be warmer than Tasmania for him. He's also going to be joining the series at Bathurst and the Gold Coast. As I said, he actually surprised me. He did a pretty good job down there in Tasmania. Not a bad addition to the team. Looking forward to it. Now, Winton, it's going to be a super soft weekend, and this is the first time we will see these new super soft tyres, and this time we are told they are actually going to be super softs, not just like the previous ones that were kind of a bit soft. These should be able to go really fast, and they're going to wear out really quickly. All the teams are going to have new tyres all weekend because of this, because it's a totally new construction that no one's used before. They will be handed a heap of new tyres at the start of the weekend, and none of this like practice 1 and 2, not knowing who's using used tyres and that. They're all going to be on the new tyre, which might juggle the order a little bit. Speaking of the order, last time out, Scott McLaughlin won both races. Obviously, he's not going to be doing that again this year because he'll be in Indianapolis competing in the Indy 500. More on that I suppose I'll talk about that in my conclusion. The next best driver over the weekend was probably Dave Reynolds, who finished 3rd and 4th in the 2 races. Only 2 races that time. So going off past Dave Reynolds, he was in a totally different team, in a totally different headspace at that point though. So this has been a definite bogey track for Triple Eight over the years. So, it's easy to just go, hey, it's going to be Shan Van Gisbergen doing all the winning. As well, it'd be easy to say, the Dick Johnson Racing pair. I actually think that it is going to be a Cam Waters, Chaz Mostert weekend. I'm going to back those two to take the spoils over the weekend, whether they win one race apiece or, finish 1st and 2nd. I think it's going to be a battle between those two for the whole weekend. The layout of the weekend, 2 practice sessions on Saturday, followed by the 3-part extended qualifying mess, 1 36-lap race on Saturday afternoon, and then Sunday we've got the 2 qualifying sessions and the 2 races. And it looks like I'm going to be there as well. So, as I said, my first live racing for quite a while. So, that's my Winton preview. Down in the comments, who you think's going to take out the weekend. Do you agree with me, or do you think Shane Van Gisbergen's going to be back on top and blaze away? Or do you think Fabian Coulthard's going to come through and take out some victories? Let me know what you think. And on that Indy 500, currently, while we are filming, Will Power and Simona Di Silvestro haven't qualified for the race yet. They're going into the last row shootout tomorrow morning. So 5 cars are vying for 3 spots. You would think that they're both pretty safe because they are in essentially... Power's in a Penske car, of course, and essentially Simona's is a Penske car. But, Penske have not been quick. I think McLaughlin was the 2nd quickest out of all of the... I think Newgarden actually came out and did a slightly better time. But McLaughlin ended up... he's starting 17th on the grid. The top 9 shootout is also on tomorrow morning, which will be yesterday morning when you watch this. But until... next time, I'm still Dave, and I'll catch you later.